Language is incredibly versatile. It can serve nearly any purpose the human mind imagines for it. We can use language to describe the rapture of falling in love, the despair of loss, or to order someone to come here, go there, clarify the meaning of a word, offer an account of celestial nuclear fission, or portray alternate worlds. In 1960, the Russian-American linguist Roman Jakobson categorized 6 broad functions of speech. In Jakobson's theory, all language falls within one of these 6 functions, which in turn correspond to 6 factors of communication, the constituent elements in any speech act. Each of Jakobson's 6 functions of language corresponds with a factor of communication emphasized in a given speech act. For instance, at the start of a phone call, each party might say, "hello, hello," into the phone in order to check that the line of communication is open and clearly functioning. Such speech focused on the channel of communication is part of the phatic function of language. If one were to be confused by an esoteric or unfamiliar word used in conversation or communication, you might use other words to ask for clarification or a definition, a function of speech that Jakobson calls metalingual, since it is language about the use of language. We could go on, but it's not important for us to be familiar with all 6 functions and the corresponding factors. Instead, we want to dwell on just one of them, the poetic function, which Jakobson attributes to language that is set or oriented to the message itself. This is language that is primarily concerned with itself, not the information it contains or the effect on the addressee. It might express emotion and refer to a real context, but its dominant function is simply to foreground its own linguistic features, how it sounds, what words it uses, the metaphors rather than the meaning it proposes. Jakobson says that the poetic function is oriented towards the message for its own sake. In simpler words, language can be used not to communicate some other purpose or meaning, or even to express emotion, but just to be. Poetry is linguistic art for art's sake. It has its own function in language and in life. It does not need to be justified by any other function of speech.